In this video tutorial, I'm going to be going over pointers, why we use them, how to use them, and why are they important in the future, and to also get rid of the frustration of pointers. Well, pointers are a very difficult thing to understand is because pointers are an abstract thing to understand in C++ and programming in general. So just in order to pull this off, I'm just gonna tell you the most straightforward definition of a pointer. So what is a pointer really? A pointer is a separate kind of variable that holds memory addresses of data and other sources of information as its value. In other words, a pointer variable holds a memory address of something as its own value. So think of it as a separate kind of value, but only in that case, it's holding a memory address rather than something else like a number, string, boolean, whatever data type you can think of. Okay, so over here on the console or next to the console, I already declared and initialized two number variables, regular num variables. We made num1 equal to 5 and we made num2 equal to 10. So how do you create and initialize pointers really? Okay, so to create a pointer variable, you write its data type first, and then don't forget an asterisk in the beginning. So first pointer, this is how you declare it, okay? And then let's say, and then to initialize that pointer variable, you would do first pointer is equal to ampersand of, let's say, num1. Now, looking at this, at these two lines over here, notice how first pointer isn't, it says we substituted the ampersand next to it with num1, which was 5, but since there's an ampersand there, first pointer isn't declared or initialized as the value of 5, but rather the memory address of 5. It can also work the same way with the second variable over here. But look at line number 8 right here. Notice how I declare a pointer variable by putting an asterisk first. Once you've already done that, once you declare and then initialize, you don't have to rewrite the asterisk in front of its name anymore, or the variable's name anymore. So let's say I wanted to declare a second pointer variable. Okay, so we would do second pointer, and then this time we would do second pointer is equal to ampersand num2. Why do we use the ampersand in pointer variables? Because the ampersand tells the C++ compiler, oh, I'm using this information as a memory address, and then I'm using this asterisk over here to declare I'm using a pointer variable. So that is why we use an asterisk to declare a pointer variable and an ampersand to generate a value as a memory address instead of a finite value or a finite number or a finite source of data and information. Okay, so far so good. All right, so take a look what we've already got here. So let's say I wanted to print the memory address of that. Okay, so I would do first first pointer and line, and if I go ahead and run this, we should get a memory address. Here we go. Yep, see, this is the memory address of 5. Okay, so what if, let's say, if I clear this in my console, let's say I wanted to see out my second pointer. Okay, we should get the memory address of num2 this time, because we've already declared it as the memory address of the previous information num2 is equal to 10. So we should this time, unless if I made some mistake, we should get the memory address of the second pointer. So if I run this, we should get it. Yep, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Awesome. So once we're done with the second pointer over here, and I'll teach you why, and I'll show you what to do after with these asterisks in a little bit, okay? So I want to create not like a project, but I want to show you something that's really cool that you can do with these, okay? Like I said, with pointers, you can manipulate, save, store data, and use them in other projects later in your program. Let's say you're creating a video game and you gotta save the amount of hits that your enemy does, or let's say you're developing a huge web site or a web program and you need pointers to create links on your website, because think about this, every link on a website that you click on, pointers are always involved in those. I'm not kidding, believe it or not. So here I want to further prevent confusion. You're probably wondering, is it possible to get that same finite number from its memory address but using a different tactic? Of course. And I'll show you how by comparing the two. So there's a difference between referencing and dereferencing variables. What is the difference? Referencing is where I already made a first pointer variable and then I set that as its memory address over here. But since this is already acting as a reference, so in terms of this asterisk, it's already referred and it's already referenced as a memory address. The same thing applies with the second pointer variable that I made over here. So what we do now is, if you want to obtain the very first finite number up top that we declared earlier, okay, and initialized, here's what you have to do. And I'll show you by comparison. So you would do cout first pointer and some space and a space, and then check this out. You would put, if you want, and I noticed dereferencing before. So if you want to dereference a pointer variable, all you got to do is put an asterisk in front and then write first pointer again, or whatever identifier that you put as your variable name. Let's say I want to do the same thing with the second pointer variable, okay? Okay, so by doing so, on the left, you should get the memory address of whatever we declared earlier, along with the space to differentiate the two. And on the right, we should get the very original finite numbers itself from the beginning. So then if we were to go ahead and run this right now, we should make it happen. All right, awesome. There you go. Notice the difference in detail, okay? Notice how there's the memory address on the left on both pointer variables, and it's references from 5 to 10 from before, okay? Notice how I set it equal to this. So if, let's say this weren't able to happen, then there would be no links on any web page or any video game on any program, none of that. So that's the thing here. That's how pointers work. Well, so one more thing. if you want to take down notes for any reason, I suggest you do this. Multi-line comment. Pointer is a variable that stores data stores some data's memory addresses as its own value. Okay, so that's one of them. All right, let me just get rid of this excess space. And now over here we got its own value, and then we can use that to referencing and dereferencing pointers are very essential because of how we can store and use data later on in our programs. So this is something that I would recommend you keep in mind and not to forget, obviously, because you're gonna definitely need that later. So in other words, this is how we're gonna point it as like that. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so this is what it's made to be, and these are the notes, good notes, that I'm gonna give you right now. So I hope you guys learned something from this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.